I'm in no shape to continue fighting right now.
Oh my god, why is the picture rotating?
No, right?
Because it's howling.
Because madness.
Because it's pandemonium.
Madness is what it is.
When you walk up the walls, like gravity goes towards the edge of the cave.
Yep.
So, Ciclon, what are you doing? You are standing in Basculum's threat range. You just came through the portal and haven't moved yet.
Disengage.
Okay.
Disengage off toward where I see Riot's lantern.
So you follow the direction, and he doesn't take a swing. He is focused on Mahogany. And you kind of limp over in Riot's direction. You can make her out kind of clearly because she's holding this bright, bright lantern. So you can see her clearly and move towards her.
Yeah.
Do you go all the way up to her, or just part of the way?
I'll go all the way up to her.
Okay. Riot, you made a friend.
Yeah, it's really easy to sneak up on somebody in pandemonium.
Yeah, you see Ciclon limping. Like he's covering. He's trying to apply pressure to the wound as best he can, but
Mahogany,
he is not looking happy right now.
roll 2d6.
You got it.
I'll let you do this because you're the one that's probably going to affect the most.
That's terrifying. Seven.
Basculum throws his head back, and again, he opens his mouth so wide you can see the fangs on both sides of his lips. His face straining with it. You can tell he's screaming, but you can't hear him. And as soon as that happens, 7 doorways open up in his vicinity. And through them step these horrible things. Posted in the Twitch chat. Just these very round, bloated, kind of gas bag creatures. The image is wearing a loincloth, but these ones aren't. Their junk is just very disgusting down there. Lumbering through the doorways and moving towards you. 7 of them.
That's goofy.
So let me make sure I have their hit points down here.
Did somebody throw that in the mumble chat?
Can one of you guys put that in mumble chat? Because I can't. It's on a different computer. I can't paste it there.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Cool.
Thanks.
Okay, you got it.
Oh, it has already been done.
Oh, yay, these guys.
Yeah, you like these guys? Let me put them on the...
If it wasn't for pandemonium, we'd be hearing boom, 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 boom.
Pretty much, yeah. That brings us to Serenity.
I have to be the last one through the portal because I'm the only one that can open it, so light my lantern. Look at Kelian expectantly.
Mahogany.
Getting ready as fast as I can.
Right? I am... These guys haven't changed anything. I just need to kill this devil. Yay! Recharge! I'm thinking the best way to deal with this right now is I am going to attempt to web him and then move back towards the others so that we can do another thunder wave, because that was pretty rad.
Roll their web attack at disadvantage.
Alright.
Range attack. Ouch.
Oof.
You know what? I don't think that disadvantage mattered. Just gonna throw that out there.
No?
No, I don't think so.
How'd you do?
No. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. You throw the webbing out, and the winds immediately pick it up. And it goes spiraling off into the cave. Doesn't get anywhere near your target.
Alright, next time I'm gonna just hug him first and then web him.
Riot.
The Thunderwave is happening no matter what what Mahogany did.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
Riot's gonna get in.
Oh, I'm sorry, you can't. You're restrained, because this wind picked up the webbing and covered you with it.
Wait, did that actually happen?
No, but your light did go out. No, that didn't happen either. I'm just trying to get into your head. No, I absolutely would Thunderwave. You're right about that.
Do I have an action?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Bricks is fucking with you.
Do we have the
apparently.
second verse? Do we have a second verse for Thunderwave?
I do, actually.
But don't
You're
sing
a
it, because nobody
terrorist.
can hear it anyway.
Right. There's no point.
Darn.
So what I want to do is maneuver to get Basculum and as many of these weird fat things without hitting Mahogany.
Getting Basculum at all without hitting Mahogany would be very difficult, and none of the other creatures are within 15 feet of them yet. They were gated at various distances about 20 feet away, and they haven't moved yet. So if you're going to if your goal is to try to get as many of them as possible, you're going to have to wait another round for them to close in. But it looks like they're going to close in on Mahogany.
I'll wait then.
Okay. Kelian.
I am ready after my turn. Yay!
So Kelian gets the rest of his gear slapped on.
Well, hey, wait 1 second.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean. Can I at least reposition myself so it can be easier for me to get Basculum without Mahogany?
I'm going to say it'll be impossible to get Basculum and all these creatures without Mahogany, because they're all going to kind of congregate right at him and surround him and start tearing him to pieces. So if your goal is to kill as many of these creatures as possible, any particular cube is going to include Mahogany in it.
Yeah. Well, my goal is to not include Mahogany because I've seen how deadly that this is going to be.
Does Riot know that your Druid form will actually soak up the damage and it's not a big deal?
Probably not.
Okay, I'm going to rule that that doesn't know that. But yeah, it looks like you're not going to be able to build a clean cube without getting Mahogany in it.
Okay.
I mean, if we were on the grid here, it would be pretty much impossible.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So yeah, Kelian, you get your stuff strapped in, ready to go, and the boy breathes his last. Finally gurgles out his last breath. Took him a long time, but he finally failed his last death save.
Even with the good berry?
They used the root beer at the wrong time. They should have used it after he died.
Hmm.
Or after he was at 0 HP.
Whatever.
I
So
thought that would stabilize
It
him.
is... Oh, I gotta make a bunch of attack rolls. So, these creatures lumber in to... Where's my encounters? There it is.
That's what I was saying. It would have stabilized him if he was at 0 HP, but he wasn't, so it just prolonged the inevitable.
Okay, I'm gonna have to make a lot of attack rolls here, Mahogany. And just so you know, all 7 of them wouldn't be able to get you if you weren't a large creature.
Hey, I'm only taking up 1 square.
Huh?
I'm only taking up 1 square.
Yeah, but there are rules for how many medium-sized creatures can surround a large-sized creature.
Really? That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
The DM
Yeah.
controllers. That goes back. I think that I've seen that table in 2nd edition too. Isn't that?
That was an AD&D.
Yeah. Okay. So what's your AC right now, Mahogany?
I wrote it down. 14.
14. I gotta keep track of how many hits here. That's 1, 2, 3.
You might want to roll the hits and the damage separately, because once I transition back to a human, my AC is going to change.
Oh, I will. I'll do the damage separately.
Oh, I'm saying they might not hit afterwards.
Oh, you think so? Okay. Well, I gotta start over now. Because I was only keeping track of the number of hits.
Yeah, because my AC is 17 as a human, which is a pretty big difference.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Fine. Starting over then. Miss. So, the 1 slashing gets you for 2 points of damage.
Alright.
Next one gets you for 3 points of slashing damage.
Alright.
Next one gets you twice
Whoa!
for 2 points of slashing total.
Okay.
And then the last one for 2 points of slashing. So these creatures have come in and surrounded Mahogany and Basculum, and you feel their claws just slapping against your form constantly, just the thudding of it. And once in a while, the claw actually catches your flesh and tears a piece of hairy spider skin off.
Gross.
They're totally soundless. They're not making, well, you couldn't hear anyway, but But yeah, they are totally surrounding you. That's going to bring us to Ciclon.
Light my lantern.
Okay. You get it lit.
And hook it to my sash and get ready to charge back into the fray. That's all I can really do.
Alright, and it's Basqualoon. Ooh, beard miss. Big one, no whammies. And glaive miss. Basqualoon has this kind of panicked look now. Mahogany, as he's trying to maneuver in such a way that he circles back towards the portal, but he sees it's closed. So he thinks better of it and just decides to lay into you with all he's got. But the chaos of all of these
doesn't it?
fat devils congregating around, he's unable to get a clean shot. Serenity.
And whose idea was that?
Let out a scream, action trance, charge through the portal. Because Kelian's geared up, right? He's ready to go,
Yeah,
right?
he's ready to
like,
go.
Looking at him? Yep.
Alright. So you let out a blood-curdling scream, the portal opens up, and you dive out of it. No sooner that you cross the plane of the portal that you are in this mass of fat flesh of these creatures. What's your dark vision like?
I just have the lantern. I don't have dark vision.
Okay, so you got your lantern lit. How is your lantern attached to you right now? Are you holding it?
It's on her belt.
On your belt, okay. So yeah, you can see Basqualoon is tangling with Mahogany in the middle of this mass, and then these fat devil creatures around are trying to tear the spider to shreds.
Can I get to Basqualoon or just the fat guys?
I'll let you get a hit on Basqualoon. You'd have to kind of elbow your way in between these two fat guys, but yeah, I'll let you get it.
Okay. Maul. See, this is better than hitting the wall. That is better than hitting the wall. Alright, so that'll hit an armor class of 25.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Ouch.
6.
6. So go ahead and roll damage on the maul. Was your maul silvered? I forget.
No, I had a hand axe that was silvered at one
Gotcha.
point.
Okay.
But I threw that when I was in my murder rage. The maul will deal 17 damage.
Nice. That's a lot of damage. Now, you get a good clean hit. When you come in, you elbow a couple of these guys out of the way. Get a good clean hit at Basqualoon. Crash down on the side of his head. But as soon as you do, the force of these winds wrench your maul from your grip, and it goes flying backwards out of the fray. You don't hear it clatter on the ground, but that's probably what it did.
Uh-oh.
Can I use my remaining act? Oh, I went into action trance, so that's it.
Yeah, if you were to move away, you'd probably eat a bunch of attacks of opportunity.
I was going to draw another weapon, but...
Oh, okay. So that's going to bring us to Mahogany.
Okay. Sure, I'm just gonna get right big on up him,
Okay.
like hug him with all my horrible spider limbs, and just bury. Like I'm assuming the silk comes out of your fucking ass or something. Is it spider? I don't know how spiders work.
Spit it out.
Bury my ass in this devil and tie him up because I'm not too worried about getting myself covered in web too because I'm a spider and I'm immune to it.
Okay. You still have to make the roll at disadvantage. It's still a ranged attack, even at point blank.
That's fine.
But I do appreciate you rubbing your spider ass all over my devil.
Like that was the point of it. Listen, if Kelian got to do it, I want to do it.
We started the session out trying to get this devil a piece of ass, and now he's finally got it.
See, it worked. It was a plan that worked right there.
And
Thought up, heat of the moment.
He makes what kind of save against that?
He doesn't. It's a hit. He's restrained.
Oh, that's right. He makes a strength attack to get out of it. So you do. You web him up. And you manage to pin his arm to the side of his body where he still keeps a grip on this glaive. And he's very upset.
And I know exactly where he is.
So it's going to take us to Riot.
All right.
Oh, wait. No.
No?
No.
I'm then going to back off away from him because he's restrained.
Okay. Well, let's go through
I
this.
want to give Riot some room.
How far away do you back off?
I just want to get out of the range of him. I don't want to run away from all these horrible
You
fat
don't have a
guys.
choice, because they have a threat range of 5 feet, and he's got a threat range of 10.
Okay, and well, I'm not trying to get out of his threat range. I'm
Ah.
trying to give Riot room to put the Thunderwave in.
Okay. No matter which way you move, though, I'm going to give 3 of these guys attacks opportunity. Because moving in any direction
That's
moves
fine.
away from
Yeah,
these guys.
three is fine.
I
Yeah.
doubt any of them will hit you, but we'll find out. Oh, I think 2 of them did.
Listen, I'd rather they hit me than that Thunderwave hit me.
Right? 6 points of slashing damage. As 2 of them. One of them manages to pull a big chunk of flesh out of one of your legs. Your spidery muscle kind of bleeding onto the ground.
Oh, I like my spidery muscle.
Another crack, another slashes across your face. Puts a gash in one of your 16 eyes.
Mm-hmm. Well, I still got pretty good vision.
Right, I'm assuming that, well, you don't, because you're in Pandemonium. Nobody's got good vision.
30 feet of dark vision. The best off here.
Okay. So this will give Riot a place to position the square for Thunderwave, but Serenity will be inside that square, because Serenity hasn't moved out of the way yet.
Serenity's crazy as shit.
She is pretty crazy. She's in her action trance
Yeah.
right now. So, Riot, your turn.
All right. I'm gonna get as many of these blobby things and Bascaloom, and if that includes Serenity, then well, sorry,
Okay.
Serenity.
Serenity's definitely in that square.
Yeah. You moved into this.
Make your intelligence save
I-
first.
Okay.
To be fair, I can't really see where you are from where I am.
Yeah, that's true.
That is absolutely not the
Why
one you
am
want
I
to roll
rolling
for an
a D6?
intelligence save.
No,
That's
right,
a good,
that
that's
was
a good
dumb.
I mean,
question.
you crit it,
Really
but
dumb.
Oh, you threw away that good roll.
Right.
Yeah, that's a 1. Yeah.
You feel the spell take shape. You can't hear the words coming out, and you feel the magic leave your body. The spell slot is spent, but nothing happens.
Okay.
Whatever was supposed to happen with the verbal components were just washed away by the sound of the playing.
Okay.
Moving or staying put?
I feel like. Oh no, he can't. I feel like I had to use most of my movement to get here.
You backed away 20 feet. So
Yeah.
you used...
So I'll back away a little bit more.
Okay. If you back away much more than this, though, you won't be able to see... Oh, no, Serenity's got a light. You can see very clearly now.
Yeah.
So you back away like 10 feet, 20 feet? How far?
Well, wait, no, but I had to move up. I guess I'm not imagining the arena clearly, because I felt like I would have had to move forward first in order to get within range of all of these things. Because it's a 15-foot cube originating on me.
yeah, but you backed away 20, so you
you
went
only-
forward 20, and then you have 10 feet left.
That's what I'm saying. So that like I can only back away 10.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought the target was and you had just had to have line of sight. I didn't realize you'd be standing next to it. So you
Yeah,
can
it's-
back up back to where Ciclon is standing.
Yeah. So I'll do that.
But now you're not seeing just the dark shadows because Serenity's come through the portal with a lantern. You can see the brightness of her lantern there.
And I'll try to motion Serenity away from them.
Okay. It's gonna be Kelian.
Through the portal, finally.
You dump through the portal and you're now standing in this mass of flesh and chaos. There's a giant spider with a broken leg, and this horrible bearded devil, and he looks upset, and Riot's like making these weird gestures off to the side. Ciclon is clinging barely to life.
It's a Tuesday.
I want to finish off the demon.
Okay.
Do we get advantage?
You do. He's within 5 feet of Serenity and Mahogany.
Okay.
Ugh, he's a devil.
Plus he's restrained.
Plus he is restrained,
Yes.
yeah. So that is a 21.
More than enough.
Excellent. Where is... Okay. Nope. There we go. Alright. So this... 8 plus 4 is 12. Because I'm using my sword. Oh, I'm using my sword. Fuck. Wrong die.
Let me put it this way. Can you possibly do less than 5 points of damage?
No.
Can you possibly do less than 10? Because he's got 5 hit points.
Yes.
But he's got 5 hit points, but he resists your damage. So,
Yes, it's possible. So let me roll.
all right, go ahead and roll it. More work for everybody.
I know. That is 9, and then
So you got him. You got him.
Yeah, I
9
got
and
him.
then any amount is
Yeah.
10. So how would you like to finish him off? How would you like to put an end to this scourge?
Kelian leans in to kiss him before cutting his neck.
Like, you realize that the charade is over at this
Yep.
point.
Oh yeah.
And, alright. So then you just pierce through his neck,
Yeah.
and he moves no more when you wrench your sword out. Make a dexterity saving throw.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, you're pretty good.
Theoretically. Parent. Oh. Oh.
The
22.
winds try to wrench your sword, but you keep a grip on it. That's going to bring us to...
It almost did.
I know it hates that devil, so it's kind of helping him out. The wind blew that dice over.
Yeah, I know, right?
Alright, I gotta roll a bunch of d6s. Bear with me 1 second.
Morale checks.
No, not morale checks. This is to see which one of these 3 assholes they're gonna claw at. Kelian, you're gonna eat 4 attacks.
Ah!
Serenity, you're gonna eat 3.
Well,
So Kelian,
I have armor on, so
we'll start with you.
okay.
What's your
resist
AC
all
right now?
non-psychic damage.
My AC is 15.
15, okay. No hits.
Yay!
No hits. 1 hit. And no hits. I'm sorry, 1 hit. So you're going to take 3 points of slashing damage as 4 of these fat devil creatures start just clawing at you, trying to rip you apart. But you're wearing your armor now. Do you have your lantern lit?
I have dark vision.
It only goes out to 30 feet right now.
Okay.
Okay. So they claw at you for 3 points of damage. And Serenity, your AC is pretty massive.
14.
Yes. 14? Plus you resist the damage, so that's 1
Yeah,
hit.
she resists all damage, but
2
psychic.
hits. 3 hits. I'm going to give the damage to you one at a time so you can resist it. 1 damage. I think it's only... Even if you take 1 damage and resist it, you still take the 1, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's 1 from the first claw, 1 from the second claw, and 1 from the third claw.
I've taken 4 damage so far this session.
Elsie Clone, how much have you taken?
All.
All the damage.
I took more.
Mahogany, you're feeling left out because none of the creatures wanted to tear at your spider flesh this round.
They got around to it.
Elsie Clone, your turn.
Okay.
There's still time.
At this point, I like I said, I'm pretty much out of this fight because if I move in and I get clawed, I'm down.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there trying to nurse my wounds as best I can. Provide light.
So doing
that's what
nothing. Serenity, your turn.
Yeah.
How far away is my maul?
You have no idea where it landed. You'd have to,
All right,
you have
then
to
I'm gonna
break away
pull
and
out
go
my.
for it.
I'm gonna pull the spear off my back and get to stabbing.
Okay. How many attacks do you get with your spear during answer track?
Just 1.
Right, just the 1? Okay. So just stabbing 1 kind of at random, or trying to stab one of the ones that attacked you, or
Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter?
1 in front of me.
Okay.
That seems good. That'll hit an armor class of.
You got it. It doesn't matter. It's their
Yep.
class sucks.
And this is.
Like in the DMG, like where it says armor class, it has a picture of Gutsman's ass.
411 damage.
And you thrust your spear, and it's not like stabbing into muscle and flesh. It's like you're piercing a bag of flesh that's just filled with pus. Like spearing a balloon. And this gross yellowish color, as it catches, the wind catches it and flicks it all over the place. Everybody standing around gets splashed with this thing as it empties out and slumps forward onto the ground. And now it's just a wet pile of flesh on the ground, kind of with the wind flapping against it. So pretty gross. Moving or staying put?
Is there a way to move out of here without just getting clawed to death?
There is not.
Alright, well then just standing your ground with your spear. Do I have to make a reflex save for that, or...?
Oh yes, you do. Make a dex save. Well, using one-handed or two-handed?
Two-handed.
Then no, you're fine. So let's
Okay.
see.
Thank you.
Mahogany.
Alright. I don't think I'm going to use it this round, but might as well try to recharge anyway. And I do.
Hooray.
And then I'm going to take out one of these fat guys with my jaws.
Okay.
Uh, 9 AC?
Does not hit. They suck, but they don't suck that bad. I don't think anything has a 9 AC.
I think
Oh,
10
there's
is the
some
base.
Is there? So yeah, you clambering forward, you try to get your claws into this thing, but it just turns around and faces you and swats your face away. You get one of its fingers in your mouth for a second, but
Oh, I don't have any claws. I'm a spider.
oh, your mandibles, your fangs, I guess.
Thinking I had claws is probably why I rolled that poorly.
You're like, wait a minute, I don't have claws. I'm a spider today. Damn it!
I'm a spider today.
I was a bear yesterday. Riot.
This is just getting confusing.
Yeah. What's the situation now? Can I get any without hitting Serenity?
No, because Serenity is not moved.
Okay. All right, then I'm just gonna go and try again.
Okay. How many spell slots do you have left?
I have 2 level 1s left.
Okay. Yeah, start out by making the intelligence save.
Yeah, I'm doing that now.
Hey, you're fine.
All right, cool. So then these guys got to make a wisdom save.
Okay, I'm gonna make
No, a constitution save. Sorry.
Constitution save, and there's 6 of them left. You guys are gonna hear a lot of dice clattering.
What's the DC on that?
14.
You know what? I'm not gonna bother making a saving throw because the minimum damage of your Thunder Wave exceeds their hit points.
I saved.
So
Nice.
it's 8 damage on a save, correct?
Yeah, on a save.
And it's sonic damage?
Yeah, thunder damage.
Thunder damage.
Thunder damage. So I resist that, so I take 4.
Okay.
And all of the creatures burst. Mahogany and Serenity, you guys are drenched, and Kelian, who's also standing there, get drenched in this pus-like substance as the waves of this spell, which you scarcely heard, you felt it more than heard it, rips through them. And Thunderwave does not have a material component, right? Just verbal?
Nope,
Then
just
you're good.
verbal.
What,
I think
what
maybe
does
some
Serenity experience being within the spell's area?
You hear a deafening sound rattle your head. The sound of a thunderclap that feels amplified somehow by the winds of pandemonium. Maybe makes your ears bleed a little bit. After that, you start... The ringing sensation for a few seconds drowns out the winds, but only for a few seconds. Okay, and that's going to end the combat. Give me 2 seconds to calculate the experience for this combat, because that was a lot more devils than I was expecting.
You hear this, Serenity. I'm gonna put it into to Twitch.
Can you put it in Mumble?
Yeah.
And then I think...
Shit. Skips 35 seconds into that. It starts to calm.
I was gonna say this is really pleasant for a Riot song.
We're going to take a quick...
I had it at
10-minute
35
break.
on my thing, and I forgot to do the NT equals 35 seconds.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll take a quick 10-minute break. The situation as it stands now is the winds are howling, deafening. Everybody's got earplugs in, right? Except Mahogany because he's a spider.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm going to have everybody make a saving throw here in a second.
Are we allowed to turn the wind off during the break?
No.
No.
Okay, everybody make a wisdom save. DC
Wisdom save?
is 13 for everybody but Mahogany. For Mahogany, it is 15.
I don't even have ears.
Like you said, you have
Serenity-
the little hairs in your leg that...
Serenity failed. She got a 12.
Serenity fails.
I failed
Yes!
with a
Just
12.
made it!
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and belief point that, actually.
Okay.
Probably a good idea.
Just made it. I am happy.
Nope,
I'll
still
I'll
failed.
believe point mine as well, because I have all these fucking belief points. I pass.
Okay, so is it just Serenity that failed?
I think so. I passed.
Serenity, you're wearing earplugs, but it hasn't blocked out the wind, and that really, really frustrates you. To the point where I went through all this trouble buying these earplugs, and it's not helping at all. I can't hear my companions, and it's really starting to get to you. It's starting to get in your head. It makes you very snappish and surly. You have kind of this just get on with it attitude. You are over this plane. You need to get home. So this feeling of frustration overwhelms you. The mechanical effect is that it's a -1 to intelligence and wisdom.
Including future saves.
It's just a -1 to those 2 scores.
Okay.
So yeah, that'll modify any saves that are intelligence or wisdom based, including these saves, yes. So,
Can I find my maul in this mess of wind-blown pus?
yes, and then after you take a few seconds, it's back off to the place where you know that it was blown to. It's easy enough because you just walk in the direction of the winds for a few moments, and yeah, it's laying there on the ground. So, here's how it works. The winds will change in intensity based on D4 rolls. So which of you would like to make the first D4 roll?
I'll roll it.
Now, Nodal, before you make this roll, if you roll a 1, the winds will get weaker. If you roll a 4, they will intensify. So don't roll a 4.
Eh.
That's a 4.
Nodal, what did we
Always
say?
roll
What
high.
did we say? What did we
Always
say,
roll
Nodal?
high.
Nodal, you have
So-
one job. One job.
You pick up the maul off the ground, and you suddenly feel the winds pick up to hurricane force. And they just get louder and louder and louder. And yeah, we're going to take a 10-minute break so everybody can get a drink. Why is this picture rotating in YouTube? I don't know.
Because you can walk up the walls. The
Oh,
gravity
nice.
isn't defined. Alright, in that case, I head over to El Ciclon,
Okay.
and I dip my spider leg into his chalk, get some nice chalk on there, and take his chalkboard, and I write this out to him.
You do not have the dexterity with spider legs to write anything on a chalkboard. You need
Okay,
fingers
in that
holding
case... Well, no, I'm not holding the chalk. I'm chalking my finger.
chalk. No, I'm not going to allow this. You need fingers to
In
write
that
on a
case, I turn
chalkboard.
back into human, and I do that. And I write that out.
And write what out?
I put it in
It's
Twitch.
a Twitch chat.
Are you
Oh.
Hate? You almost killed us all. Was that good? I know it's supposed to be happy, but it looks like Hate.
Listen, I was writing that with spider legs.
I mean, I appreciate the effort you went through, and I kind of regret not allowing you to do it with spider legs now. But yeah. At this point, which of the 5 of you have your lanterns on?
I do.
Right, it does.
Serenity.
Is somebody clipping their fingernails into their microphone? I keep hearing the snapping sound.
No.
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 So who's got their?
It sounds like somebody.
lantern
It sounds like somebody is fooding.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Someone's scraping a bowl.
Ah, there you go.
No, I'm eating ice cream.
Ice cream is not allowed in this place.
So lights, who has them?
I have them.
Right, it does.
Serenity.
I'm gonna take out one.
Kelian is content with dark vision, if need.
I mean, dark vision's fine, but the brightness of all the lanterns washes out your dark vision. You can't see further than those lanterns are illuminating.
Yeah, that's fine. I will have a backup lantern in case something happens to a lantern. Also, lantern.
And it's very difficult to use these chalkboards just because you have to face away from the wind, and even then it's difficult keeping the chalk and the board in your hand. But when you're not in combat, I'm not going to make the rolls for it.
So Serenity pulls out her chalkboard and she holds it out and it just says where.
So yeah,
Question mark.
we were given directions from Lady Lagers about where to go from here, right?
Were you?
Kelian is looting the demon.
Looting the demon.
Of course.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, Lygris did ask for physical proof that he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's start with that. How are you going to provide that proof?
Cut off one of his beard tentacles.
That could be anything.
Let's see.
Alive.
Take all its rings.
Yeah, he's got rings on all his fingers. Well, 2 of them are in your pocket now.
Yeah, you could have just taken the rings. Mahogany will go over there and he'll just take his staff and he'll put it at his neck and he'll look at everyone like I can't do this.
Yeah, Kelian will take all the rings and... How about his tail?
Do they have tails? Did they have a tail in that picture I posted earlier?
Yeah, that's what
Then, yeah, you
I
can
went to go look at it.
carve off his tail, but it's going to be heavy to carry it around. It's not going to be something you just coil up in your backpack. There's a lot of tail there.
Mahogany just points at his face again.
Yeah, alright.
So carve off his face.
Not
I
carve
thought
off his... What the fuck is wrong with you?
We're gonna take his face.
So,
The beard, right?
you're carving off parts of his beard. And are you... Like, how carefully are you doing this? Are you just grabbing and yanking it off? Because you got to keep in mind, there are poison barbs on the end of these bearded tentacles.
Yeah, I'll be delicate.
Okay.
I would like to not get poisoned.
How many do you want?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Serenity kind of
5.
stops you as soon as you do this. Kind of motions to give her the sword.
Kelian lifts his eyebrows. Really?
She nods.
Kelian plays ball.
Okay.
Takes the sword in both hands and hacks his head off.
Mahogany throws his
Beard
hands
and
up like,
all.
finally!
So, it takes you 2 cleaves to get through his neck and his spine. When with a short sword is not exactly the best kind of weapon to use for this. But you get the head off after a couple of hacks and a minute or 2 of sawing to get through the
She
spine.
takes the extra backpack she'd been using to carry Kelian stuff and stuffs the head into it.
Oh, I assume that was Kelian's backpack.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I assumed it was
Nobody's
my
got room
backpack.
for this head in their backpack, but you can tie it to your waist or something. So you just drag it around with you. So we're talking about a human-sized head. You're not...
Yeah, that's...
Plus the devil beard.
Yeah, plus the devil beard.
It's
So I
big,
think
but it's not like the world's largest object either.
Right, no, that's just that should be wrapped.
With what? With how?
You guys, how are you communicating this? How are you talking about it?
Or not.
We're not, that's the thing. So I'm assuming at this point Serenity is carrying around this head. And Kelian gets his sword back.
Yeah, you can have your sword back.
So what do you do with the head,
Thank you.
Serenity?
I'll take some of the rope I've got. I'll tie the beard to it as best as I can. I'll just pretty much empty out my backpack, put that in.
What do you do with the stuff you take out of your backpack?
The rations I'll redistribute through my clothing.
Mahogany will move over to take anything that you can't carry, because he doesn't carry very much in his pack.
Okay, I'll give you a hunting trap, a extra set of rope, and basically everything but my rations and water skin.
Okay.
There's not really all that much.
So you take a moment, use some rope to secure the tentacles of the beard, and you shove his head into your backpack. Lace it shut. Just make a note on your guys' character sheet that what Mahogany's carrying, in case it becomes relevant. Kelian,
Yes,
you might be
sir.
interested in his money pouch,
I sure am.
where you find 43 gold coins remaining.
Sick.
That's in addition to the 8 rings total that you have.
So 8 rings. They're not magical, right?
You have no idea.
They have no idea? Oh, all right.
How would you know if they're magical or not?
I was just asking. Chill.
Learn detect magic and then we'll talk, nerd.
Mahogany knows tech magic.
What about the glaive? Does anybody want the glaive?
Oh,
This thing's huge and unwieldy.
yeah. Kelian wants it so badly.
And it's very clearly made in Beator. This thing looked like... This is not the kind of weapon that polite company would carry around.
But, like, could you find one? Because, like, what if a bunch of adventurers were going to Beator? They'd want Beator-made weapons, right? Because otherwise they'd be shitty.
If they're magic, they lose pluses if they're not made in Beator. But there's no indication that this glaive is magic. I haven't said as much.
Right.
I'm just describing it to you. As far as these types of weapons that are used by the fiends in Beator, yeah, you can find them on the market in Sigil. They're not incredibly expensive, but they're not incredibly common either. It would be like kind of buying a boxed copy of a Sega Genesis game on eBay. You could do it, but you're not going to find it at the corner store.
So you'd have to like place a request, like, "Hey, guy at shop."
Yeah, if you know a
could
guy,
you
you
get
know a
me
guy.
a?
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's worth.
Well-
It's definitely worth something, and it's definitely a nice weapon.
Gosh, if we were anywhere else.
I'll go over to
Yeah,
Serenity.
no. You know what? No, Kelian is totally going to try and take that, and he's going to carry it for as long as practical.
Okay, Kelian,
Yeah.
with the 2 crossbows and your sword and your armor, all your other gear, and now this giant 2-handed glaive, you are encumbered.
Humbird.
That means I'm going to give you a 5-foot penalty on your movement speed.
Okay.
So how do you have all this to fix? You got the crossbows laced to your side, you got the sword in a scabbard at your side or on your back,
Right.
and holding the glaive in your hands.
Yeah. Yes. He is. It will take him an action to drop the glaive and ready up his weapon. I'm guessing.
No, because switching weapons like that is not consume any actions. It's just
Oh, okay.
moving. You're moving slower because you've got all this stuff plus this unwieldy weapon, and it's top heavy. It's not weighed the same as other glaives. That you've seen. So where to?
So while all this has been happening, Riot has been trying to figure out which way based on Lady Lagris's directions.
Okay, what were her directions?
I don't think you ever told us exactly what they were. You said that that there was a portal a day's away that she could tell us about, but you didn't ever tell us what.
You never really elaborated.
It was a day's uphill journey,
Day's uphill journey. Okay.
but doesn't seem to be any hills around here. To your eyes, it looks like the ground is perfectly flat. For as far out as your lantern illuminates.
Serenity, Ciclon's going to walk up to you and scratch out on his slate as the child. Okay.
Riot writes back, no.
That was just Serenity.
Oh no,
but-
just Serenity. Yeah.
Serenity shrugs. She actually wasn't paying attention.
Nice.
She was lighting her lantern and then getting ready to go. Like she was watching Kelian. She just writes down, "I gave him 2 berries." She didn't have time to take a pulse, and she has earplugs. She can't hear him stop gurgling.
I understand that. I'm not. You don't have to justify yourself, but Ciclon does still look worried.
No. I don't think Serenity actually knows.
Yeah.
I think she assumes he's going to be okay because she shoved those berries down his throat.
Ciclon nods a little bit, but he still looks worried.
Mahogany just looks pissed.
So the only feature in the cave is the hole in the ground that you came out of, the portal.
Is there a way to tell which way the wind is blowing from?
Oh yeah, it's definitely blowing in a particular direction.
Okay.
Maybe she meant upwind instead of uphill.
It's trivially easy to see which way the wind's blowing.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was something that changed a lot or if it was just like a vortex of wind or what. But okay.
It's coming from somewhere and going to somewhere, but the mystery of the plane is nobody knows where it comes from or where it goes.
Okay. So Riot will just write uphill and question mark on the end of her slate.
Mahogany will see that and write back upwind with an extra question mark.
And Riot shrugs.
I mean, the chalkboards were a good idea. That was a stroke of brilliance.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Yeah, Serenity will shrug and start making her way into the wind because the sooner she gets out of here, the better.
Yeah.
She
No
has
kidding.
had it with this plane.
Walking into the wind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mahogany sighs in relief and follows after Serenity.
If we're walking into the wind, Kelian will give up on the scythe.
it's
Or the
a
glaive.
This black chit here is the direction you're walking. Serenity's in front, so you'll put yourself there. I want to see a marching order. If you're not marching single file, just kind of show me how it's happening.
She pulls her cloak close against her, pulls her hood up as best as she can, and just starts heading forward.
Actually, not that cold. I mean, it's chilly, certainly, but it's not. It's colder than it was in Sigil, but the wind isn't like biting or frigid at all.
I want to see if I can tell if we're walking uphill as we go.
Objective directional gravity, my friend.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's impossible to say. I mean, there are parts where the the stone of the ground makes a sudden incline or dip, and you can see that for sure. But typically, instead of having to like climb up over those little ledges, you can just walk around them because you've got space on either side.
Right.
So there's definitely elevation to the cave, but whether or not you're tending uphill or downhill, you don't know.
Well, walking up an incline isn't any harder because gravity's just pulling you straight down into it. It's just longer.
Yeah, it's true.
It probably makes really annoying uses really annoying muscles, though. Like, it's probably going to hurt like a bitch.
So just to clarify, right now you are all on the first layer of Pandemonium here. And it looks like a pretty desolate place. Except for this giant madhouse, which is a city maintained by the Bleak Cabal. But I don't think you're anywhere near it. So the next question is, how long do you march?
We were told 1 day's journey. Let's get it over with.
Yeah.
If we have no way to tell which direction we're going, may as well just walk for a day.
Who wants to roll the next D4?
I'll do it this time.
Now, before you roll, last time Nodal really cocked this up.
Yeah.
The winds can't get any stronger than now, so if you roll a 4, something really bad is going to happen. And I want to remind you, Ciclon has 1 hit point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair to remind people.
Great.
Okay, so no change in the winds. It's very difficult walking into the winds. You're not sure what kind of pace you're making. And there's not a lot to... I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. Yeah, okay. There's not a lot to orient yourself by. Not a lot of features that you pass. Strange crags and cracks in the ground from time to time. Very small holes that tunnel off into other areas of the plane. Some of these are small enough that maybe a rabbit could fit through. Some are big enough that you could crawl into. Some of them are big enough that you could just walk into. Every now and then you'll come to... Let's cover that next, because that'll be important. Every now and then you come to water snaking across the stone ground. And poking at it with a staff, it doesn't seem too deep, maybe a couple of inches. And the river's not very broad. If you stand at this bank and hold your lantern out, you can see the other bank just several feet away. So how do you guys deal with these rivers?
Stay as far away from them as we can.
Yeah.
So what happens? You come up on one. We'll start there. You come up on this. The first, it's bisecting your path. There's no bridge over it. You'd have to either wade through it or.
Can we just walk on the ceiling?
You can't see the ceiling. In the giant tunnel you're in, it looks like a flat expanse in all directions. So if you want to walk kind of away from it and try to go the other direction. So your options are kind of go across this river, go back the way you came, or turn perpendicular to it and try to leave it behind.
I feel like it would be a bad idea to try to cross it.
Yeah.
How far across is it?
If you stand at the bank and hold out your lantern, you can see the other bank. So, not very far, maybe 20 or 30 feet.
Longer than I can jump. Okay.
Yeah. Probably longer than you should have.
Mahogany will write onto his slate and look towards Serenity, since she's the explorer of the group, and write, "Is this the Styx?"
I don't think I have any way of knowing that, do I?
No.
Serenity just shrugs. She'll pull out her slate and write, "A lot of rivers out here."
Mahogany will just revert back. Probably should keep away from it then.
Serenity will nod, point to the left. We'll try and just go up around it.
Okay.
So you'd make like a 90 or 40 degree turn?
We'll be walking parallel to the river until hopefully we go around the ceiling or whatever, find the source.
Oh, so you want to walk parallel to the river?
Yeah.
You want to walk along it. Okay. And from your perspective, it just looks like a shift in direction. It's kind of really hard to tell if the river's meandering, if it's going back and forth, if it's changing direction at all. Because as you start walking along it, it feels like you're walking perfectly straight along it with no changes. So, who wants to roll the next d4?
The wind is coming from our side now, though, right? Instead of ahead of us?
Yeah, as soon as you make a change, it's blowing across the river, so it's coming from your left side now.
I'll roll the next d4.
All right. This is the die that might kill you.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's a 3.
It's not the die that kills me.
No change. So, I actually made a random encounter table for Pandemonium. I haven't used one for a long time.
How long have we been walking?
So far, about 2 hours. And ahead of you, keeping up with the river, looking out over the water, just at the very edge of your light, so maybe about 30 feet away, you see where the wind is kicking water up into the air, like a shield of mist that permeates over the river and on the opposite bank. And it looks pitch black. You're walking towards it. There's this cloud of blackness hanging over the river, being played with by the wind, but be relatively motionless. That's about 30 feet in front of you. So what's
That
next?
looks ominous.
Mahogany will just grab Serenity's arm and, like, kind of pull her in the direction of giving that cloud a wide berth.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. We'll just make a turn way so that she's walking away from the wind with her back. Go about to the point where the lantern light barely reaches the edge of the river, and then turn back to the same direction.
Okay. Make me a... Is there a navigation skill in 5th edition?
There's survival.
It's survival.
Yeah.
Okay, make me an intelligence survival check. Serenity.
Wow.
4.
4. You start moving away from the river, and your intent is to try to keep the river at the edge of your illumination so you don't lose it. The problem is, after you lead the folks away from the river for not even very long, less than a minute, surely, the wind suddenly and violently shifts direction, and it disorients you. And you're not sure which way you're facing now. When we turn to look for the river, you've walked too far away, and you don't know where it is.
Serenity just kind of looks back and forth, shrugs, and starts walking back into the wind again.
So you're going to turn back into the wind?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll go with it.
And that's definitely not the way that you came from, because you don't come up against... you don't come up onto the river again.
She's at this point keeping her eye out for the next, like, hole, the next cavern or whatever.
When you say cavern, how big are we talking? How big of a hole?
Large enough for a human.
Okay. Roll a d20.
$17.
So you march into the wind for about that many minutes before, just on the edge of your lantern, I mean, you pass a lot of little smaller ones, but just on the edge of your light, maybe 15 or 20 feet away from you, so not quite the edge, you see one of these tunnels, and it kind of bores into the ground at a strange angle. So it almost makes this little cave mouth entrance into the ground, but the tunnel just disappears into the darkness and what looks like below you.
She's gonna write rest question mark on her slate and point towards it.
Mahogany will take out the rope and kind of lower it into the hole. He's trying to figure out how strong the winds are inside the hole.
When you get close to the hole, it feels like the winds are blowing violently out of it. You don't even need your rope. I mean, you can tell.
I'm just going to write to Serenity then. The winds seem worse.
No, they're certainly no better.
I mean, Serenity's just gonna shrug and kind of motion towards Ciclon, who does not look very better for the wear. Like,
No,
he needs to rest.
He is not. He is not feeling good right now.
How long is a short rest? 1 hour?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll just write back. Just an hour then.
Serenity nods.
Ciclon looks a little bit relieved.
And she's gonna use her chalk to mark the direction they were walking from and the direction where they were walking to on this rock with arrows before she sits down.
Okay, easily enough. So this hole you found that looks like a tunnel goes down. It's about 8 feet or so in diameter. So stepping into it is extremely disorienting because it looks like you're going to have to crawl down into it. So I'm going to ask how you approach going into the hole.
Just keep on walking. She's been told about the gravity.
Okay. And so you put a foot into this hole and reach forward and try to grab the ground of it. And the disorienting... I mean, well, wait a minute. You've been to Bitopia. You've experienced this weird gravity stuff before. As soon as you put your foot in the hole, you feel it being pulled downward. And so you very carefully step through the plane and the gravity shifts to the wall. And standing in this much smaller space now, like from here, you could reach up and just about touch the top of the tunnel. But the gravity's pulling you in all directions, so it's this bizarre stretching sensation. Like if you hold your arms out to the walls, it feels like they're being pulled towards them. But you yourself do not lose footing on the ground.
Is there a rock or anything anywhere on the ground? Just a small one?
A small rock?
Yeah.
One that you could easily dislodge with your hammer, sure.
She's gonna pick the rock up and do the trick where she just gets it to She's done this on Biopia before. She's gonna get it perfectly centered in the tunnel, and then let the wind carry it away.
Well, the wind is blowing out of the cave, so you managed to get it.
Right, so it's gonna... Yeah, and she'll let go of it, and it'll be there for a second or two before it gets blown
And
off.
then the rock flies out, hits Ciclon in the face, and he drops dead.
Yeah, it just bounces off Mahogany's head.
Well, she'll be last in line. She'll let everybody else get in before she does this,
Okay.
obviously.
So you managed to find your way into this tunnel. And this tunnel, looking down, you see snakes off to the right from where you all enter. Or I guess it'd be your left if you entered from the ceiling. But it snakes off in some unknown direction. So what's next?
Serenity hunkers down, pulls her cloak over, and just kind of does the best she can to meditate.
Okay. Is everybody taking a short rest?
No, I have a question
Yes.
first for Serenity. And I'm going to just write down a message. I'm saying, do you think you could block the wind for just a second?
And she'll write back, hands, question mark? Pointing towards your hands.
Mahogany just writes back a question mark.
For what?
Mahogany just writes berries.
Serenity nods, and she moves to the front of the group and kind of pulls her cloak up and kind of shields the rest of the group with her back as best she can.
And it does not avail you, because when you block the winds from the back, the winds whipping by in the big tunnel outside have a way to come in. So blocking them from one direction, they're just going to come in from another direction.
Well, we've only got 2 directions, right? So Mahogany will look towards, Riot at that point and just raise his eyebrows.
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
And the winds and the millions and millions of pores in the wall, you feel them billowing up from underneath you with the same violence.
Mahogany throws his hands up again.
What are you trying to do? Cast Goodberry?
I would just like to cast Goodberry.
Okay. What's the components on it?
It's... I think just...
Oh, it's
I'm going
everything.
to go to my other sheet. It's everything.
Yes, you need to succeed on 2 saves to pass the spell. 1 intelligence and 1 dexterity.
I'll give it a try.
Okay, make the intelligence save first. Don't you guys have berries left?
We have,
I
like...
have one.
I have
They
one.
wasted 2 of them on some dumb kid that was going to die anyway. And then... we have very few left. What is the first save?
Is an intelligence saving throw... Whoops.
It's
I lost-
12,
Okay,
as I
then-
recall.
Yeah, 12.
Alright, then, yeah, I don't pass the intelligence.
So you try to form the... well, make the dex save, too. What kind of component are you using?
I'm using my staff.
Okay, so even if your staff gets knocked out of your hands, you'll just pick it up.
Yeah.
You try to cast the Goodberry spell, and you feel, again, the magic well up inside you, and you say the words, but you can't hear the words. The winds carry them off. The spell slot is discharged. Serenity, you're standing there with your cloak, like, fanned out, trying to block this wind, and just the futility of what you're doing just needles at you. So during the short rest, who wants to roll the d4?
Who hasn't had a turn yet?
Serenity hasn't. I'll do it.
Kelian hasn't.
Am I going to get the benefit of bettering hit dice before I had this
Hey,
D4?
oh, so the winds die down, but I mean, they're still deafening. They die down to about what they were when you all entered the plane.
Nice.
So yeah, you get the benefit of your short rest. Go ahead and spend your hit dice if you want to get some hit points back.
Need a couple D8s. Whoa!
Whoa! What the hell was that? I just took a D12 out of the bag. I don't even know what happened.
Somebody must have
zoomed
dropped
out?
a D12 in there and it got saved.
Here we go. Big bucks,
Perfect.
no whammies, no whammies,
That's
no whammies.
how much
That's-
damage? Oh, almost
yep.
perfect.
Yep, I back at full.
Okay.
I didn't take any damage.
15. Yeah, I'll keep
I
one
can,
more hit
I
die.
can become a spider again. That's pretty cool.
So it's not a very restful rest, but you guys hunker down in this little bolt hole for long enough to regroup. And as you do, the winds die down a little bit.
Ciclon looks hopeful.
I've still got the YouTube video going.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Oh, mine ended. Thanks for reminding me.
You need to fix it.
I'm going to right now. I wonder if chat's hollering at me about it. There it is.
I'm just doing it for you
That's
for a
fine.
second.
Alright, so what's next?
Climb back out of the hole, inspect the edge of the rim for the chalk mark I made to show which direction we've been going.
You find them, but now they're pointing a different direction relative to where the winds were going before. So the wind up here has changed direction again.
Just sort of motion for them to follow me and make my way in that
Okay.
direction.
Keep going.
All right.
Okay. Who wants to roll the next d4?
I think
Who
it's
hasn't?
I think it's other McDohl's turn.
I gotta roll the d4.
Yep,
You
your
know.
turn.
Nobody, you don't have to take turns. Are you guys just looking for someone to blame?
Yeah,
Someone to
Just looking for
blame,
someone
really.
to blame.
There we go.
Oh, and they pick
Wait.
back up.
Wait, mouse
it-
over
no.
it. That's a
It's,
4.
yeah, it's
That's
definitely a
a
4.
It's kind of.
Nope, it's a 4.
That's 4. I'm
It's
sorry.
a 4.
So
It
the
was
winds do
clearly
intensify
rolling for a
again.
4.
I mean, you all were hopeful that they were going to go back down, but after an hour or so of marching following Serenity, they're back at full force. So everybody throw that wisdom saving throw again.
Okay.
What's the DC on this one?
Yes!
13 for everybody.
Save.
Saved.
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 Did anybody fail?
I think I heard 5 saves. So no.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So the winds pick back up, and it doesn't cause any more ill effects, but you still don't know where you're going. And after that much marching, you can't even be sure you can make it back to that cave that you came out of. Or if you did, or if it was the same cave. It would be impossible to tell.
Right. Yeah, I mean we're in it now. We're lost in
Yeah.
pandemonium.
Yep.
So we're just continuing that direction?
Riot's as a result of what just happened, Riot's gonna start leaving chalk marks on the ground every so often.
Okay.
Every 5 minutes or so.
Alright, who wants the next D4?
Everyone's gone, I think.
I'm in order. I'll do it. I'll kill Ciclon.
Well, no, Ciclon's back at full health, so it may not be as bad.
2.
2. No change.
Hey, Nick, do I get key points back at short rest?
I
Or
think
is it
so.
long rest?
I think it's short rest.
That
But it
seems
might
like
that might be at a certain level. Let me check.
that seems like the kind of information that should be on your character sheet.
Yeah, it should be. I just didn't know right at the top of my head.
Serenity.
Yeah.
Looking ahead of you in the direction you're walking, you see a figure. A large one. bigger than a man, clearly, and you see it when you're about 30 feet away. Kind of hard to tell what it is, but it's definitely moving. Just looks like a giant lump.